Good morning, everybody. Some folks on my last video asked me if I could kind of walk them through how we did the process of bringing our dogs over here to Thailand from the United States. So I'm putting together this quick video to show you. Requirements change all the time, so what we did last year may have been altered slightly, or they may be using a different form, so I highly recommend you do your own research and don't take everything I'm going to say today at face value, because it may have changed. I haven't looked at the requirements since we got over here last September 1st. So do that. The other thing to understand is I know people that have both brought their pets over here and people who have left their pets behind with family. The choice is yours. Any way you look at it, it is not a fun experience for an animal to be put in a cargo hold on an airplane for a long period of time. Our dogs came through it fine, but it's not, you feel bad for them basically the entire time you're traveling. So they do have some requirements. I believe your dog's got to be at least 6 months old, so it's got to be through all its initial vaccinations. There's very specific guidance. I'm going to show you some of the forms that are used. There's very specific guidance on like when their vaccinations have to be done and things like that need to be done. There's also a very good website called, I think it's called pettravel.com, and they will give you all kinds of instructions for like what's required as far as the crate. The crate has got to be a bit large enough so your dog or your animal can stand up and circle around, like walk in a circle around inside the cage. So we brought 2 Labradors, so they're about 80 pounds each, so we had pretty much the biggest size crate we could fit. Also on that Pet Travel website, I'll put it in the video description, the name of that website, but you will have to get live animal stickers and put them on the side and on the top. Additionally, what we did was I just used Microsoft PowerPoint, and I created basically like a flyer that had our dog's name, the dog's picture, our flight itinerary, our contact information, email and phone number, and taped it, put it in a plastic sleeve and then taped it to the top of the crate. Additionally, they will require you to tape like a Ziploc bag full of kibble, put that on top of the crate and tape it there, and then a bottle of water for the animals. Now, we flew with Qatar Airways, and the reason why we chose them was because they were just the most thorough, they did the most thorough explanation of explaining the process of how our dog would be handled. Basically, I think most flights on Qatar fly through Doha, Qatar, and if your layover is greater than 3 hours, they take your dogs out of the crate, in an air-conditioned area because it's very hot, and then they clean the crate out, and then they feed them and give them water while you're on your layover in Doha. We made sure our flight had like a 4-hour layover, so we could make sure that happened. And then we went to a lounge, and I explained to the lady at the lounge that my dogs were, in transit with us, and if we can get a status update them. And they said, sure, and we went and sat down, and they came about 15 minutes later, and they actually had printed out pictures of our dogs in like these airline crates, and they had big smiles on their faces, so we knew they were okay. And they said that the dogs were fine. The other thing for consideration is, our trip all in all took about 30 hours because we had a storm in DC the night we left, and it delayed our departure flight. We decided to move down to Hua Hin, which is about 3 hours south of Bangkok, but my wife didn't want the dogs, after getting off an airplane for 30 hours, to be shoved into a van for 3 hours. So I arranged a pet-friendly transport, and I'll put a link to the service that I used in the descriptions below also. And we stayed at the Kimpton Hotel in Bangkok for I think 2 nights, which is a pet. Kimptons worldwide allow you to bring your pets. So, and it was great because, you know, they brought us dog bowls and a couple dog beds, and they had dog treats that they gave us, and they just really made us feel good. So anyways, so do that, and then we also had arranged for the first month while we were looking for a place to live to stay in an Airbnb, and we found a pet-friendly Airbnb where we were going, so it all worked out. You know, we stayed at the hotel for 2 days, and then we actually had the same van that took us down to Hua Hin from Bangkok. And yeah, it all worked out good. The dogs came through it without any problems. Now, one thing I will tell you is I recommend that when you get to the airport in Bangkok, and you have to go wait for your dogs to come out where the large oversized baggage place is in the baggage claim, and then you have to walk them over to it's their animal control place. It's also inside the baggage terminal. I would recommend you bring paper towels with you, because as soon as you let the dogs out of the crate, they're going to pee on the floor, and there's literally nothing doing. So while I held the dogs, my wife was frantically looking for something to clean the mess with. But yeah, just a piece of advice. All right, so let me pull up these forms. So obviously the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to have a rabies form, and you're also going to have a vaccination form, and then you're going to have a microchip form. And these are just what ours happen to look like. If you see me looking off, it's because I'm looking at my screen and talking to looking at the forms you need to do. So the first checklist you'd need to get is the Thai import checklist. And this will have a link to the form R1/1, and you need to send that to Thai Animal Quarantine. The email is right in this checklist. You can see it right in the middle of the screen, or I put it at the bottom of the screen, and you need to email it to them. And then I would highly recommend that you follow up with them if you don't hear back from them in a couple of days. You just might have to call them. This is the form, what it looks like. So you fill it out to the best of your ability. We did not get a response from them, and I finally got somebody who was Thai, a friend of mine, and he talked to Animal Quarantine. He called them, and then we got the form the next day. This is what the import certificate looks like that you'll get back from them. Once you get it, you can apply for this early. You can get this, I think, 2 or 3 months before you actually travel. Once you get to the airport, the vet will check your paperwork, make sure everything's in order. You'll show him the USDA certificate. That's an important form that's coming up. And then he'll issue this import permit, and you'll pay, I can't remember what it was. I think it was like $75 a dog, US. Now, this is the really hard form to get. This is a USDA certificate, and this is the checklist that you'll need to get your USDA certificate. If your vet has like some kind of partnership or ties to the USDA, it makes it much easier because they can transmit everything electronically to them. Otherwise, you have to go on the USDA's website, the Department of Agriculture, and figure out how to send it electronically. There is a way you can get all the information and send it yourself. Now, the important thing about this form is you've got to get it within 10 days of travel, 10 days or less of when you travel. So when you send this in, and the USDA knows this, they'll send you a, you have to pay for it. I can't even remember how much we paid, but they will FedEx it to you overnight. But we went literally 10 days exactly. We had this form sent in, and then we didn't get the form until like 3 days before we flew. So we were getting pretty nervous. You have to have the original when you arrive in Thailand. They will not accept like an electronic copy or a signed copy. So it's got to be the actual USDA form with a signature, and I think it's got a stamp at the bottom of it. But and then finally on the screen here is important contact information. It says Thailand Animal Quarantine Station, and I guess some animals do get quarantined, but dogs do not. As long as all your paperwork's in order, you get to take them right out of the airport. But this is the phone number for calling them. So they're the people who you need to call if you don't get your Thai import certificate, in a timely fashion. I think for us, we applied for it like 3 months ahead of time, and we didn't hear anything for it was weeks. And then finally I called my friend and had him call the animal quarantine station, and they talked to him. They probably speak English, but I figured somebody speaking Thai could probably just make it easier on them. So that's about it. You're going to have to pay for your baggage, let the dogs be checked. And I think it was for coming all the way from Bangkok, or from Washington, D.C. to Bangkok, I think it was $450 per dog. So there's a lot of expenses. If you feel uncomfortable at all with the process, there are agencies that will do it for you. You can just Google it, and they'll take care of everything for you. But yeah, I wish you the best of luck. And like I said, this is just meant to serve as kind of how we did it. And I encourage you to do your own research. Be very thorough about it. These are your pets. And just to make sure things haven't changed, like they haven't changed the requirement on a form or something like that, because that could very easily happen. All right. Yeah. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop me a comment below. Appreciate it.